Hello humans, how has your day been today? In today's video we're going to be creating an accordion in React. We'll be using the React app CLI and we'll be creating this app here. So it's very simple. Pretend it's a FAQ page. So again, you have frequently asked questions. How many programmers does it take to screw in a light bulb? It's a genuine question. How many does it? None. We don't address hardware issues. Yes. Who is the most awesome person? You, the viewer. NIQ. And how many questions does it take to make a successful FAQ page? This many. There we go. That's some really good FAQs there, you know. Everybody needs these FAQs in their life. This is inspired because we did a video the other day, yesterday, to be in fact, on this website I built, and there was this nice little accordion sort of FAQ page. So I thought we'd rebuild it in React. So if you click here, you click different, that one shuts and this one opens. So we can also turn that functionality off, so you can have functionality off, so you can have multiple of these. So you can open two at a time. And I'll show you how to do that in today's video. Don't forget to check out today's sponsor, AFFIXSPACE, a web hosting provider. Details will be down below, and on the top of the screen you'll see a banner with some more with the discount code. So go check it out. Alright guys, let's crack on with the video. So let's move this over to the right, and I'm going to turn this into like a little mobile phone area. So it still works just as fine. So it's kind of nice and responsive there. And we're going to bring over a terminal screen here, because you know I like to do everything in a terminal. And in here I've gone and created day 85 for React Accordion. And we're going to run, so to run this you need to have a Node installed and npm. Npm is the Node package manager. It comes with Node by default. And you're going to see that we have the we're going to be running, so normally you do npm -g install create React app, and that's if you want to install it locally. But I just want to install an instance of this. So we're going to say npx create, or npxi, no, it's npx create React app, and then we got to name our app. So our app is going to be called React Accordion. I think that's appropriate. So it's going to install this, and I'll see you once that's done. Okay guys, now that's installed, we can cd into our project, cd React Accordion, and I'm going to run code dot, and it's going to open it up in my Visual Studio Code. And then in here we can run npm start, which is going to create us a boilerplate, or start our serve our files locally. Let's move this out. Let's close this welcome. Let's open up the source. So this is where we're going to be working from. We can delete a few things from here. So we're going to delete app.test.js. We're going to delete the logo because we don't need the logo. We don't need the service worker, but I'm not going to delete it. We don't need the app CSS, because we're just going to do it in one CSS file for now. I know we should split it up, but for now we don't need it. And I'm just going to delete all this here. So all that code there, hit save, and we're going to have a blank canvas to work with. We're going to go into the index.html, and we're going to change the title, where is it, down here, from React app to FAQ page, because it's going to be an FAQ page, kind of. And theme color will be a mint color. I have it over on my right side here. There we go, nicely. No idea why I'm doing this. Is all irrelevant to what we're trying to achieve today. So I'm also going to drag. So I've created this in XD, this little arrow, very simple SVG. I've exported it as an SVG, and I'm going to drag that into our file folder right now. So I'm going to drop it into the source file, and there it is. All there ready. Let's close public, and let's crack on with the video. So first things first, we need to create a header, because you know every great React app has a header. And to do that, we're going to create components. So in React, you have components, and components are what build up your page. I assume you already know what, if you've watched my previous videos, you know what React is and how to use it. But just in case you don't, I'm going to explain a few things along the way. So there's the React boilerplate, and the main files you need are in this source file. So let's carry on. So we've got import React from React app, and we're using a functional component here. So let's create a new file, call it header.js, and inside here I have a VS Code extension. That's not my extensions. Where are my extensions? This one called where is it? ESF and React Redux GraphQL and React Native snippets, and that allows me to basically write React functional component export enter, and that creates this boilerplate piece of code. Now in here we're going to basically write it's literally going to be like a few lines. It didn't even have to be a functional component. It could have just been an export of some it could have just been the return of this, to be honest. FAQ page, why is that so far forward? And that's that done. Nice. So that's the header, as you can see, very easy. So now to use that inside of our React app here, we're going to say import header from /header. Nice. Now inside of our app we can go here and say header like that, and there we go. We've got our header imported straight through onto our page. Next up we need to create our FAQs. So we're actually going to set up a few things. We'll be using React state here, so we're going to go here and say use state. There's something we're going to be pulling through from the React library, and in here we're going to say const. Why is my tabs always set to tab size 4 when I set it up to convert to spaces, and then indent using spaces of the value of 2. Now we're going to say FAQs and then set FAQs, and we're going to set that equal to use state, and then we're going to pass through our initial state, which is going to be an array of objects. Now I have these objects, this array here, because I don't want to spend all my time writing that out. And there we go. So all the state is built off is objects, and in each object we have a question, which is going to be our question, the answer, which is going to be the thing which drops down, and then open, and this is either set to true or false. If it's set to true, then it will be open currently. If it's not, then it will be closed. For now, we'll set one to true for now, so we can see what it looks like when we get there. So that is our that's our default state right now. Now we need to set up the actual FAQs to display. So let's create an FAQs container, and inside here we're going to create a FAQs component. But first, let's just export. So to render to the page, so this JSX, if I haven't explained that already, and to render this array, so we've got to loop through this array and render a diff for every single one of these. To do that, we can write here FAQs. So in the curly braces, we're going to say FAQs.map, and then we're going to get through the FAQ and the index, because we're going to need the index to tell which one it is. And then inside here we actually need to put brackets and not curly brackets. We could then say, for example, FAQ dot question, and then put a break afterwards, so we can oh, is that right? That should be right. FAQs dot map That is right. Why is it wrong? Oh, sorry, my bad. Because they need to be in some sort of container here. If we're going to use container, we might as well choose a diff straight away then. I just wanted to show you what we can do. This isn't actually the final code right here. Hit save, and there we go. We've got all our questions appearing on our screen. Perfect. Now let's create a component to manage this. So we'll have this loop, which loops through all the FAQs and displays a FAQ component for each one. So in here we're going to say FAQ.js, and in here we're going to run again React functional component export. Enter, and there we go. We've got the FAQ functional export. And this div here, actually, first things first, we need to bring through some props. But we're actually going to destructure this, and we're going to say FAQ and the index for now. And in here, we're going to say class name is equal to an object. And in here, we're going to say FAQ. So this is one of our class names. But then we're going to say FAQ dot, or we'll put this in parentheses. We're going to say FAQ dot open. So we're checking if this FAQ has the property of open, and we're going to pass through an open class. That's just going to return that, else we're going to return nothing, because we want to check if it's open. If it is open, we're going to append this open class to this class name array. In here, we're also going to add some more things. So we're going to break this down to multiple lines. And in here, we're going to say key, because when you loop through React to display things on screen using map, we need to give the component a key. And in here, we're just going to pass through index. And then in here, we're going to say a div with the name of FAQ question, and we're going to pass through FAQ dot question. Hit save, and let's go apply this in here. So first things first, we need to pull through our FAQ component, which we just have. And in here, we're going to do, so every single time for each FAQ we have, we're going to run FAQ. We're going to pass through an FAQ called FAQ. And then we're going to pass through the index, which is going to be equal to I. Hit save. And you'll see nothing changes because all we've done is done pretty much the same thing in here. Let's also now create another div inside here and call this the answer. And we're going to basically pass through the answer. Hit save. And you'll see, we see all the answers. So that is all we need for this currently. And that here. So let's go do some styling quickly while we wait. So we've got some things on page. Let's go to our index.css. Let's add margin. No, I like to create a reset where we say margin 0, padding 0, and box sizing border box. My favorite tip there. And there you go, that resets everything for me, so I can then start from scratch. Because no, why do browsers give things padding and margin by default? What's the point? It's annoying. Sorry, rant. Okay, so in here we have a header. So let's style our header. We're going to give this a display of flex. We're going to justify the content to the center, and we're going to align the content to the center. So this is going to be centered. We're then going to say padding is equal to 15 pixels, and we're going to set the background color equal to 3C, 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 a lovely charcoal gray. We're then going to go in here and say header H1, and we're going to set the color to F or EE. It's a nice cell. And we're going to say font size is equal to 28 pixels. Font weight is equal to 700, and text transform is equal to uppercase. Hit save, and there we go. That's looking a lot better. We could add in a border, a box shadow under this, but I find if you add a box shadow to a dark backgrounded element, it doesn't appear very well. So we've got that down now. We need to now do our FAQs. So we can say FAQs.FAQ, and in here we're basically going to give it the well, actually we need to do the FAQs first, because we need to set some widths, because we don't want it when you go on a bigger screen to be massive, scaling the whole screen out, so it'll look a bit weird. So we're going to say we're going to give it a max width of 768 pixels, which is an iPad size. And we're going to say margin 0 auto. So once we go beyond this 768 pixels, we're then going to center it as we scale out. Also, I think I'm going to add some padding to this of 15 pixels, because previously I never had that, and I think it would be useful to have, but I'm also going to say 25 pixels, so I feel that's not enough. There we go, that's looking a lot better. So once we've done that, let's now style the actual FAQ box. So the FAQ box is going to have a margin of 15 pixels. That's why I didn't do it. That's why it's 15 pixels and not that. Because we're going to have 15 pixels. We're going to have a padding of 15 pixels, a background color of white, because we're going to set on the body a background color of EEE. There we go. That's looking nice. Let's add a border radius of 8 pixels. 12 pixels. No, 8 pixels look better. 8 pixels, and then a box shadow of 0 pixels, 0 pixels, 10 pixels, RGBA 0, 0, 0, 0.2. Hit enter, and there we go. That's a nice looking thing there. And that will do for the actual FAQ box. Let's actually do the FAQs.FAQ question. This is really confused. I like Sass. There's a reason I like Sass. It's because I can nest my things and not repeat myself. Position, relative, font size 20 pixels, and then padding right 80 pixels. Now, the reason we're adding position relative is because we're going to add an after to this FAQ, which is position absolute inside of the FAQ question. We're gonna basically place that on the right side of the screen, which is going to hold the arrow SVG we dragged in earlier, and we're going to use that too. I'm also going to scale my text up here a little bit. Sorry for that. Should have done that earlier. Yeah, and we're going to use that there, the padding right FAQ, to give it some spacing. So here you'll see we'll have our arrow here inside this little box here. And actually, yeah, no, that's fine. We're then going to add a transition of none. Actually, we don't need a transition on that. I don't know why I'm adding it. So FAQ questions, nice. So that's looking all right. We've still got the answer there. So let's actually do something here. So we're going to say FAQs.FAQ.FAQ answer. We're going to set the opacity to 0. The max height also equal to 0, and the overflow y equal to hidden. Hit save, and there you go. Now we have hidden the actual answer. The reason we haven't done display none is because we want to animate it growing bigger in, if that makes sense. So it's not just jumping straight in. So now we've done that, we also want here to say transition. So we're going to say transition. We're going to set it to all because we want to animate everything. We'll say 0.4 and ease because I like that not cubic Bezier, the curve. There you go. So you can see the animation there. Linear and ease. Now, where we've got FAQ question, let's get in our arrow. So let's say FAQs.FAQ.FAQ question double thing after. We're going to set content to an empty string. And then once we've done that, we're going to say position absolute width. Actually, we're going to say top 50%, right 0 pixels. Transform translate y minus 50%, and then we're going to say width 30 pixels, height 30 pixels, and then we're going to give it the background image of a URL, which is going to be the arrow down min SVG we dropped into our source folder. We're going to set the background position equal to center, the background size equal to contain because we don't want it to overflow. And finally, the background repeat to no repeat because we don't want it to appear twice. Hit save. And there you go. We've got our arrow on the right here. You'll see it's facing down. You could flip this the other way depending on how you want to do it. So when we click this, we're going to get this to animate and rotate the other way. We also want to add a transition to this, all 0.4 seconds and ease. So to this what arrow, this nice little mint arrow there. Also, I want to do something to style up a little. I want to add a border bottom of 3 pixels solid, and that mint color we use in there. Let me just get that mint color. There we go. And there we go. Got that little mint bit underneath, just to give this page a bit more style to it. You know, I like to make sure my things look good. So now we've got the FAQ answered. The next thing we need to do is toggle the FAQ open, but to do that we need to go back into the app.js file, and underneath the initialization of the FAQs we want to create a function called const toggle FAQ is equal to index, which, well, we're going to pass through an index which will be the index inside the array, and we're going to say set FAQs. Say FAQs.map, and we're going to map through each FAQ getting its index, and we're going to say if its index is equal to the index we pass through, then FAQ.open is going to be equal to not FAQ.open else. So if it's not equal to that, then we're going to say FAQ.open is equal to false. We want it to close. Now, if you don't add this little else statement here, it will automatically keep the ones you've clicked on open unless you re-click it again. So we're going to say return false, or no, not return false, return FAQ. And that is going to map through. So let me explain this because I did that quite quickly. So what's happening here is we're creating a function which when it's called, we're going to pass through an index. The index is going to relate to one of these FAQs. So the one we click on. So if I click on this one, this will have the index of 1, which is equal to this one here. And when we set that, we're going to use the React State Manager, so the set FAQs. And we're going to call that, we're going to say set FAQs, and then we're going to map through each FAQs. And we're going to return the FAQ, and if it's equal to the index we pass through, we're going to toggle its FAQ the value here to true or false, depending on what it currently is. So it flips it, so it toggles it. Else, we're going to set it equal to false. So if it's not the one we clicked, which is this one, we're going to set it to false, so it closes. Now, inside of our FAQ here, we need to pass through that function we just created, the toggle FAQ. So we're going to say toggle FAQ is equal to toggle FAQ. Now, we need to go back to our FAQs page, and we're going to also now pass through toggle FAQ. By the way, if you don't know what this is doing up here, it's called destructuring. We're basically pulling from our props, and normally we'd get one value here called props, but I'd rather destructure it to get individual elements. So now we've got the toggle FAQ. We want to set on this the container item. We're going to say on click, which is going to add a React event listener. We're going to call this function, which is going to say toggle FAQ, and we're going to pass through the index which we've passed through to the FAQ relating to the item. We hit save. Now when we click, nothing happens, but without us knowing, if we right click this one now and we inspect, you will see that up here, once I click this, it adds the class of open. If I click that one, it adds class of open, but it removes it from the one down here, and so on and so forth. So whichever one we click, it will basically toggle the class open on and turn off the open class on the other open FAQ. So let's go back to app now. So let's go back to our index.css. So now we've got that open class, we need to do some styles to make sure once we've toggled it, it displays. So we're going to say now FAQ.open.FAQ question, and we're going to say margin bottom 15 pixels, and that's now why we need to add in here transition all 0.4 seconds ease. Hit save, and now if we click this, you'll see it animates the margin down, because we're toggling that class. We also want to animate the arrow to spin round. So we're going to say FAQ.open.FAQ question after, and we're going to say transform translate y, like exact, we need to add -50 because we need to keep that consistent. But this time we want to say rotate 180 degrees. If we hit save and we click on one of these arrows, you'll see it flips round. So if it's round, we click on multiple, you can see it changes like an accordion, it opens up. Now finally, to display our FAQ answer, we're going to say FAQ answer is equal to, so we're going to get that max height we set to 0, and we're going to set it to a ridiculously big 1000 pixels. Basically, we can't animate height to auto. So to fix that, we just give it a max height of 1000 and we set that to 0. And then once we want to animate it so it grows, we set it the max height to 1000 because you can't animate height on its own from 0 to auto, and we need it to be auto. We're then going to set the opacity equal to 1 and hit save. Now guys, this is basically our app done. Let's close this here, and as you can see, nothing happened. Let's refresh. Dun dun dun, I've done something wrong. Let's figure it out. Where did I close that then? Let's move that over there. Let's find out what I did wrong. So over at our FAQs, FAQ answer, FAQ question, FAQ.open, which gets added. And then in the index we say FAQ.open. See, this should be FAQs, not FAQ. Hit save, and there we go. You guys probably spotted that before I did. Now let's click here, and there you go. Now we can find out these really bad jokes I made. I actually stole this one off the internet, so I didn't even make it, but you know. How many programs does it take to screw in a light bulb? None. We don't address hardware issues. I like it. I really do. Good joke. Gonna get that plastered on my wall. And as you can see, we get the nice animation where the arrow spins round. I feel like the arrow spinning round should actually have a ease out animation, but not an ease in. So it kind of turns a bit smoother instead of having that slow, fast, slow animation. So it feels a lot better now. I actually think the FAQ answer should have an ease out too. Yeah, I like that. That works. Nice. So there you go. So that is how you build an accordion in React. If you want to see even more things, so we have some more requests to do other things from that Nuts About Health website. Go check it out. The video was the previous one to this one. And basically we created an awesome website. Well, I created an awesome website and then we reviewed it. And if there's any features from that you want to see in this or in the next video, then let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, guys, then smash that thumbs up button. If you want to see more, then don't forget that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you know as soon as I post a new video, so you can be the first one to the scene. Lastly, if you guys want to join the Discord channel, I haven't promoted this in a while, but Discord's been quite dead. I'm going to try and get it back to being lively. A lot of people still do talk in it. It's just me who's died, apparently. But we'll try and get that back up to life and get a lot of big community going again. So thank you guys for being awesome, and peace out.
Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Keep my head up when I act, head up, that's a fact. Never looking back, I'ma keep myself on track. Keep my head up, staying strong, always moving on. Feel I don't belong, tell my thoughts to move along. Push myself to